Back by popular request, let's talk about how few narcissists there actually are. Let's start by removing subjectivity. That means we're going to use facts and math. There's currently 7.9 billion people in the world, estimated to be 8 billion by 2023. That's a round number. Let's use that. Now, about 1% of the population holds an actual diagnosis for narcissistic personality disorder. So that's 80 million people that hold the diagnosis of NPD. Having said that, most experts believe it's more like 5 to 6%, and that is 480 million people. Now, studies also show that approximately double the amount of men have the diagnosis more than women, but we're going to come back to that statistic, so hold on. The average person has 5 to 6 romantic relationships in their lifetime. So let's cut that in half and use 5.5. On the low end, if there are in fact 80 million narcissists, that means there's 440 million intimate partner victims, because we're not even talking about their family, their friends, their coworkers. And on the high end, using the 480 million number, that's 2,640,000,000 victims, intimate partners only. Now, if anybody wants me to cite sources, number one, Google is free. But let's start with the Cleveland Clinic says it's approximately 5%. And then there's Dr. Ramani Deversala, who is, in my view, one of the world's leading experts in narcissism. Her belief is that it is approximately between 10 to 15% of the population. Now, all this math, all these numbers, we're talking about people who have narcissistic personality disorder, the diagnosis. But what we know about narcissism is that everyone has narcissistic traits, and it exists on a spectrum. The term narcissist really can apply to anyone who is demonstrating the behaviors and the traits. Think, it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck. So, what does it take to get a diagnosis? So if you sneeze and someone says, "You have a cold," and the person says, "No, I don't," do you think that person's going to go to the doctor to get checked out? One of the pillars of narcissism is thinking that they're superior, not taking accountability. And therefore, that means they are extremely unlikely to ever choose to get diagnosed. And it does take choosing to see someone to get diagnosed. There's an assessment. This obviously means that the vast majority are undiagnosed. That explains the 1%, doesn't it? Now let's go back to the gender issue. I don't necessarily trust the statistic that it's double the amount of men. My gut tells me it is more men, but probably not double. It's kind of its own topic and has roots in the patriarchy. This all means that there are more narcissists than you think.